Welcome. We are at an emergency, I guess you can call it an emergency, rental property that we need to get taken care of so we can get smoke odors out of this thing. Really nice space. As you can tell, it's snowing outside. Pretty gross and cold. But they need to rent her into this thing as soon as possible, and unfortunately, smells like smoke in here. So we want to make it smell as nice and fresh as the outside. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take care of this place. I've got all the cabinet doors, everything open. We've essentially swept the house, made sure there's nothing in here, which it's a rental, so it's rare and unlikely. So let me walk you down the hallway here. Try not to slam my elbow on anything. That's a really jostly camera. But this room's good, nothing too crazy in here. Surprisingly, master's not bad. Go figure. It's actually the basement that's pretty bad. But take a quick peek at this place. Not horrible. A little bit of smoke damage up on the side, up on the wall. Ceilings are a little yellow. Nothing too horrible and extreme up here. Let's see what we got in here. This area is not too bad as well. Looks like a kid's bedroom. It doesn't really look like this place was ever used, honestly. This room has absolutely nothing in it. Not even any scrapes or anything on the poles in here, and they actually haven't been replaced, so that's good. Alright, so in this room, a little bit, little impression on the carpets, nothing too crazy. Well, it's super dark in here. Hey, look, there I am. Anyway, nothing too crazy in here. A little bit of yellowing up on the ceiling. You can see that's actually because of the vent. It's actually blowing the smoke odor from downstairs straight upstairs. Nothing we can really do about that. That's going to be paint, but we definitely can get rid of the smells that are happening in here. That's the front bathroom, and you got a super cute little front room here. Which, wow, look at that! Just kind of disappear into the darkness there. Maybe it's just my camera. Anyway. Kitchen, spin this around so you can take a peek. All the drawers and doors are open. I don't want smoke to be trapped anywhere. Open the dishwasher as well. Took care of the oven and the microwave. Refrigerator's brand new, so I'm not going to worry about that today. Nothing too crazy. Let's head down into the old dungeon. And by dungeon, I mean actually, surprisingly, my gosh, if I could angle this camera, a pretty decent basement. So, big long hallway back here, nothing too crazy. We've got I'm guessing drums maybe, I don't know, instruments. Not too bad in here, nothing really stinks. I don't know how to turn the lights on in here, so here's me in the dark, which is kind of cool. I have no idea, whatever. And then we've got a laundry room right here. This doesn't smell too bad either. Furnace room's in here. While I'm at it, I'm going to actually go ahead, assuming there's a light in here. Alright, maybe not. I'm actually going to go ahead and just pull this furnace filter out. Just double check this thing. If it's gross, nope, brand spanking new. So we're actually going to leave that furnace filter in there, make sure everything is good. I want to make sure that if we've got any nastiness on the filter that gets changed, and I'll take care of it for them. Hey, look, there's my hand. So this is the area that's smelling the worst. So we're at the back of the basement now. Spin around. You guys dizzy yet? So over there's not too bad. This area over here, we've definitely had a smoker in it. So we're gonna go in there now. I've got my machine set up. There's two upstairs I didn't show you. Maybe I'll take a quick peek at those just to kind of give you an idea. But this room is bad. My nose is actually watering currently. My eyes are burning a little bit. It's we'll call it mild for what these machines can take care of, but it's hard to breathe down here, even with a mask on, being as it's already hard to breathe, and then adding this on. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but we've got yellow staining. Oh, look at that. This is like being a weather girl or guy or whatever you want to call that. We're just gonna do that. So we've got some yellow staining up on the ceiling. Walls are discolored all over along here. And this bathroom down here is just awful. It's nothing that you can really see, but I have a feeling that bathroom fan up there has been really just taking the brunt of this smoke odor and rolling it through. Not to mention the fact that the air pickup for this this room is literally right here. So the smoke is coming out of this room, following along down by the floor down here, and getting picked up and essentially just being transferred through the house. So without further ado, I'm gonna get my respirator on because kind of hurts my eyes down here. Not to mention the fact we're gonna be generating a star in this machine. This is an activated oxygen machine, and it uses corona discharge. Hey, look, there's me. I don't know if you guys care that you can see me. This uses corona discharge. What it does is it applies electricity across the plates in here, and it essentially turns bright purple, and it's creating plasma, essentially. That plasma goes out into the air, and really mucous membranes, things along those lines. Unfortunately, this is why we can't have plants, people, and pets inside of homes while we're treating. The mucous membranes will actually turn into anything that's water-based, really, will turn into hydrogen peroxide. So this machine also disinfects at the exact same time. With that being said, activated oxygen seeks out organic materials, and those, I keep looking at myself instead of the camera. I'm not sure what's better, so I'm going to look at the camera and try to ignore myself. Anyway, this machine will turn on these corona discharge plates, and we opted to disinfect in here just because the customer's trying to get this ready to be a rental. So with that being said, we want to take care of these smoke odors so they can get a house cleaner in here so they can get painted. I keep looking at myself. These corona discharge plates will essentially seek out any organic material, and it literally vaporizes them. It shreds them down into microbes, or should I say, from microbes, things along the lines of viruses, which technically aren't alive, but because they do have compounds that can be torn apart as organic. And unfortunately, things like plants as well will essentially just be ripped apart into water vapor and carbon dioxide. So we want to make sure that we've got a window cracked right there. That will go ahead and just supply us with some fresh oxygen. That way they can breathe. I'm going to go ahead and crack a couple upstairs, so I'll take you back up there here in a second. But let me get my respirator on. I just thought I'd go ahead and tell you about this machine before we actually did anything down here. My eyes are horribly, horribly burning right now. I don't know if, are they red? Anyway, this machine will seek out those organic compounds and essentially completely destroy them. And it doesn't destroy them in the normal way that just kills them. It literally causes them to essentially obliterate and evaporate into absolutely nothing. So the goal here is to break down all the nasty tars and tobaccos and gross stuff that is on all these walls and everything. Shouldn't take too long. And then we'll come back through and we'll do a thermal diffusing in here. And essentially what that'll do is it'll actually penetrate into the walls, all the surfaces and everything. You don't need much of it. It's very light. It comes out in a very, very fine fog. That air is very cold from the snow. And it will actually penetrate and it creates an encapsulation, hence the name encapsulant, and will actually pull with ionic and cationic, I think I'm saying that correctly, bonds, and it'll actually pull it out of the wall. And essentially it'll continue to fall out of there and hold on to itself until there's literally nothing left. And with that being said, the great thing about this, well, that's a weird angle of me. Maybe that's a little better. Essentially what'll happen after that's all said and done is every single square millimeter of this house, including what's inside the paint, should be completely neutral. We shouldn't have any issues, any disgustingness left in this house. Biggest thing being that paint, luckily they didn't kills this place because that was initially what was going to happen, as they were going to take kills of this. Kills is 64 microns after a few coats, can get down to like 32. Smoke odors is about 0.05. That's not good. I mean, that once equalization takes place, the smell is literally just going to come out of the paint, out of the kills, and eventually it's going to smell like smoke again. Once kills is down, there's very little we can do, unfortunately, even being professionals and having all the equipment in the world. So with that being said, we've got this taken care of. Supposedly we've got house cleaners and painters coming in here shortly, so we got to get this taken care of real quick. I'm thinking with 3 machines, we're going to be putting out somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's see, well, we've got 2 40,000 machines upstairs and a 50,000 down here, and I might have that flipped. I think this is the 50,000. We're going to pack this place. This place should be odor-free within about an hour. So without further ado, let me hook up my handy-dandy respirator, get it on my face, because I like to breathe. tends to help when you're making videos and stuff. So I'm gonna throw that on real quick, and we'll get back to you. Alright, I got my respirator on. You probably can't hear me very well. I got some awesome hat head because of the bonnet that's going on up here. And we'll go ahead and get this machine powered on. You know what? It doesn't look right. Hey, look at that. Looking professional. Anyway, let's get this thing powered on and do some damage. One last thing before we start, so I don't have to try to explain over this fan because it's loud, it's powerful. That's if you can even hear me. Otherwise, I'm going to subtitle this thing, or I don't know, voice edit over the top of it. Or maybe I'll just put a bunch of mumbles at the bottom. Anyway, what I'm going to show you in here is these plates turning purple, and you'll actually see electrostatic pass across the top, and you'll see breaks and pops. Ooh, look at my hands. Oh, they look tiny in comparison to my face. Anyway, those breaks and pops that you see is actually the static discharge that's coming across here. And that's actually generating the activated oxygen. And that activated oxygen is going to end up passing over these plates. The fan will push it by. And that's, that plasma that's being created actually bonds to the oxygen itself. And the oxygen itself, well, hard to talk in this. The oxygen itself is actually what's doing the job. So you want to talk about going natural? Oxygen. We are literally using pure, clean oxygen that is being rebonded temporarily to essentially turn into a disinfectant and really just an odor killer. So I'm going to pop this on and we'll stick it over the top. And you're basically going to get nothing but feedback here for a second as I show you, and then we'll go check out upstairs and get those machines turned on. Just leaving that room. I'm going to go around and just check things again. Cool thing about this is I don't know if you can hear me. We don't have to turn off the pilot light. We don't even have to turn off the furnace. This is nice and safe and comfortable. We can keep your house pretty much as is. We're really just using oxygen at this point in time to essentially completely disinfect, which is super awesome. There's pretty much nothing better other than, you know, possibly going with a dry vapor system, which is just as easy. Oxygen's great, dissipates in like 20 to 30 minutes, half-life at least, so it goes pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and turn this machine on. I don't know what happened to the camera. Anyway, battery probably, I don't know, probably fat fingers really. Anyway, we're going to turn this one on. There should be nothing too crazy on this one. Absolutely impossible to see. It's got a filter membrane that runs up on the back of it, just as that one does, but because it's top mount, you can actually see what's going on. So I'm going to kick this one on, and we'll head into that room. So again, essentially, there's some cigarette smoke. It's actually coming up the stairs right there. So activated oxygen is actually really heavy. So we want to make sure that we've got the majority of what we're doing up on the top floor. And typically we run fans if we're going to be doing a prolonged treatment. But because this is such an easy one, we're not going to have to run any fans in here. Honestly, this is completely overkill. One of these machines will do its job and then some. So just to get some air circulation in here, I'm going to go ahead and kick this fan on. It's one of the few fans in the house. Why not? Let's use what we got. Assuming it works, that is. That would be a no, so that one's not going to happen. So let's kick that light on, off, on. Same thing, not at all. So let's try this one. I have no idea. That's probably the worst setup for a fan ever. Anyway, with fans being moving, just keep everything going. Once these are up to speed, I'm gonna actually, I might even do it now on this one. This one's a good one to bite your hand. I'm actually gonna turn the fan around, which you're supposed to do during the winter anyway, if you didn't know that. And essentially that'll pull the cold air up to mix it with the warm air. And that being said, anytime that we can get any type of circulation and movement, the better. As I just said, activated oxygen is heavy. So, last thing that we want to do, I'm going to bite myself, I know it. I feel it, there it is. Okay. Last thing that we want to do is put ourselves in a situation where we can't properly treat. And again, this is overkill and a half. I'm going to try this just because I'm being picky, and I think I figured out how to do it. I was wrong, still doesn't work. So we want to make sure that it picks up that activated oxygen. That activated oxygen really does what it's supposed to do. And normally with fans we're good. This saturation will take care of it nevertheless. But circulation, right? So the last thing we're going to go ahead and check, because we want this to circulate around the house and to pull as much from the air as possible, is thermostat. We just want to make sure that fan is on, which it is, so we don't have to worry about this. So we're good to go. I'm going to get out of the house here. I'm going to go write a blog because, you know, that sounded weird in the respirator, the blog, because I have to keep my website up to date because people like you like to read this stuff. So we're going to jump out of here, let this thing do its thing. Carbon, by the way, don't do this without carbon. It's just gross and bad. So anyway, I'm sure you've had enough of my bubble face for now. I'm gonna go write a blog, and we'll be back in an hour. Again, very mild odor, nothing too crazy, but enough in the basement to make my eyes water. Makes it very hard to rent. So 295 bucks. This customer's pretty awesome. We're gonna be doing a combined treatment cost on this. So we'll knock it down for him a little bit. He's got to get a renter in here, and we just happen to be in the area, so we're not gonna ding him for that. We'll actually help him out a little bit. Other than that, I'm gonna just take one quick peek around, just make sure everything is completely open. Oh, there's a ceiling fan. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I forgot one. Hey, that one's actually spinning the right way. So we'll let that do its thing, and yeah, it's spinning the right way. I'm gonna jump out of here, and then we'll pop back in about an hour, and hopefully I'll have my blog written, and we can go from there. So see you guys soon. Alrighty, have fun. I forgot to crack a couple windows, and then I went out to the car, and then I looked at the video, and I realized there's a fan right there. Yay! I have no idea how to turn it on though, so I'm just gonna flip some switches and see what happens. Hey, look at that, there it is. Oh no, it looks just like the one in the master. Should probably flip this thing before it bites the crap out of me if it's in the wrong position. Aha. Okay, now let's try this. Woohoo! We have fans. Okay, I gotta crack the window. I was thinking two, but that seems a bit overkill for what we're doing in here. I think one will probably do it, but oh, that's a stuck stuff. I'm gonna have to put this down. Hey, how's that for a thumbnail? You can see me. Doesn't like a little glare. So, I'll get us some air in here. Again, we're disinfecting with oxygen, and once oxygen is bonded to itself, and there's no more fresh oxygen, it makes it really hard to make more disinfectant and rid of oxygen because it's consumed everything. Oh, that one doesn't work. That one's closed. So let's try this one. Nope, that one either. Maybe we're down to just two windows. Hey, that one stays on. Alright. Okay, cool. Me and my hat head with my mesh of loveliness up here. Comfort mesh, we'll call it. We're gonna get out of here now because even with carbon, I can actually still smell this a little bit. This carbon only lasts so long, it actually eats the carbon over time. And even though these are new filters, you can only assume it's gonna last so long. So, get my shoes on here. lock this place up so nobody gets back in here, slap a sticker on the door so that nobody enters, and then we'll be back.